Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Definition, and this is the channel where we explain it so you don't have to. AMC's The Walking Dead has just dropped its final episode for season 9, and throughout this video I'll be breaking down everything that you need to know about the episode. This is full spoilers ahead, so if you haven't seen it and don't want to know what happens, then I highly suggest that you turn off now, as this has a lot of big moments in it that definitely deserve to be seen with fresh eyes. That's your last warning, and with that out the way, let's dive into the season 9 finale of The Walking Dead. Episode 16, titled The Storm, fittingly picks up after the events of episode 15, The Calm Before. Do you see what they did there? Anyway, in that episode, Alpha pretty much showcased herself as well, the Alpha, as not only did she decapitate 10 of the show's C-listers, she also showed Daryl a massive horde of walkers that she threatened to unleash on the communities if they were ever to step foot in Whisper territory again. At least she got to wear a nice hat though. Anyway, episode 16 thrusts the titular Storm at our characters, and these guys do not deal well with it. Alpha hinted that the future would be sweater weather, but I thought she was just talking about something to go along with her very nice little hat. Anyway, it's pretty clear that the circumstances are causing everyone to be down about the entire staying alive thing, with Lydia even contemplating death by zombie bite, but more on that later. Ezekiel and Daryl have a big argument, and Zeke straight up tells him that life would be better at Hilltop without him, and all in all, it's clear that everything has affected everyone very badly. The storm isn't bad for everyone though, with Negan getting moved from his cell and actually getting a chance to redeem himself when he runs into the snow after Judith to rescue her. And just like that, we forgot about him smashing Glenn's head into smithereens and embraced him as an upstanding member of the community. Michonne even visits the character in the same room where he recovered from Rick's throat slice, and you can begin to see them at least warming to each other. Negan too gives her advice on perspective and being a leader, and even talks about how when they're in charge, no one thinks they're the evil one, which gives a nice POV on some of the decisions that he made. What works so well about the snow in this episode is that it makes all of the journeys between the towns life or death situations. After a pit stop at the sanctuary, the Hilltoppers are forced to cross through Alpha's territory, and whilst walkers appear, the true drama of this episode comes with Lydia attempting suicide and begging Carol to let her die. Carol doesn't do it though, as she knows that Lydia is only considering herself as weak because of the abuse dealt to her by her mother. Carol might have seen most of the kids she's looked after die in front of her, but she's not giving up and she embraces Lydia, which shows that she will always try to care for the young as it's in her nature. Eventually this causes Carol to break the news that she's heading for A-Town, and in doing this it confirms that the fantasy life she's been living at the kingdom is no more. I guess some people just aren't cut out for fairy tales. Anyway, the episode ends with 2 cliffhangers. While summer has started, it doesn't mean that things are going to be all sunshine. The first cliffhanger comes with us seeing Beta removing Alpha's mask, and she tells him that he needs to be strong for what's to come next. Beta starts whipping Alpha across the wrist, and it becomes clear that this whole anger as a driving force thing is really pushing her ahead. Obviously now she knows that the group have entered her territory at some point and is going to do something about it, and I can see her weaponizing the army of the undead that she has at her disposal to take all of the towns down in one fell swoop. Cut to Zeke chatting to Judith through his radio, and it's a cute little moment that shows just how strong the bonds between the towns are. Ezekiel walks off, probably to go look after his own child. Oh, wait. And then a muffled voice comes through the radio asking if anybody is out there. Obviously the show is going to need some new faces to kill off, help with the Whisperer War, which is just around the corner, and whilst I haven't seen anyone talking about who this could be, I personally think that we might see a return of Rick Grimes through this. I theorise that the voice on the other end could be the camp where he was rescued, and it would make sense for the 3 standalone films that they are planning to do with the character to firstly show what's happened to him, then secondly show him reconnecting with the group, and thirdly show him helping out in the Whisperer War. But who is this group exactly? Well, in the comic books they are known as the Commonwealth and are introduced when Eugene hears them over the radio, which is pretty similar to this. In the comics, the person behind the voice is known as Stephanie, who lives in the community, which is by far the most expansive and elaborate town in the Walking Dead world. It's a real civilization with bakeries, law firms, shops and more, which further hammers home just how medieval the kingdom is. It'll add a huge Game of Thrones style aspect to the show, as this becomes the main story point once the Whisperer operas are done with. This would make for a great season going ahead, and I really hope it's the route that they go down. Obviously, I'd love to hear your thoughts on whether you agree with me or not, so make sure you leave them in the comments below and let me know what you'd like to see in season 10, which is due to air later this year. If you enjoyed this video, then please like it and make sure you check out my breakdown of the Annabelle Comes Home trailer, which will be linked at the end. This is a channel for people who are never missing television, so if that's the kind of thing you like, you need to subscribe to Definition. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this. You've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.